A new Avatar series is on the horizon. We've known about it since February, but people are just now really finding out about the news because of San Diego Comic Con. Well, I'll get into the other announcements from San Diego Comic Con shortly, because we also got a release date for the Avatar Aang movie. Okay, the Legend of Aang movie. You're looking at right now Avatar Seven Havens. That's the name of the new series. This character right here on your right is Avatar Pavi. Okay, her name is Avatar Pavi, and this character on the left is Jay. I don't know what the gender is. I'm pretty looks like a female, but you know how they do. Some characters might be one of those guys that just like look feminine, right? So, and this cat's name is Geet. Okay, it's a monkey cat, by the way. Now, before I get into more details, let me just say real quick. Apparently, a lot of people have a problem with this art style. Let me know what you think down below. Do you not like this art style, and why not? Because I don't understand why people don't like it. They can't really explain it. It's really vibrant, and this is just, this is the first official art that we've had for official art reveal, okay? Because this was from a leak, by the way. This is from a leak that we had a while back, by the way, before they did announce the series. But let me get right into right here, talking about what the show is going to be about. By the way, it's a 13 episode, 2-season show. That's what is rumored to be also. So it's going to be 2 seasons, 13 episodes. I hope season 2 is a time skip. That's all I'm going to say. But Avatar Seven Havens is set in a world shattered by a devastating cataclysm. A young earthbender, Pavi, discovers she's the new Avatar after Korra. Korra calls the cataclysm is, what we're supposed to believe, by the way, right? So after Korra. But in this dangerous era, that title marks her as humanity's destroyer, not its savior. Hunted by both human and spirit enemies, she and her long-lost twin must uncover their mysterious origins and save the Seven Havens before civilization's last strongholds collapse. Okay, so in Avatar Seven Havens, so right there, that was a lot right there. So in Avatar Seven Havens, we know that Pavi is the new Avatar, and her sister, or her twin, I'm pretty sure it's still her sister. We don't know exactly what their name is, but in this leaked image, we got part of her name is like Nisha. Maybe it's probably Nisha. Nobody knows what the last letter could be, but that's probably what it is, Nisha. We don't know. So Pavi and Nisha, okay? And we do know that, based on the synopsis, that the world that they're living in obviously is, they're the enemy. Avatar is the enemy because of what Korra did and her legacy, okay? And she's being hunted down by possibly people like the Red Lotus and other people who just hate the Avatar in general, new enemies of all sorts. The setting is going to be similar to Avatar 1 in the sense that, for the namesake, the Seven Havens are different civilizations that they're living in, okay? As you can see right here, this words it kind of the best. So, a post-apocalyptic world with the remnants of humanity living in Seven Havens. Okay, I don't know if there's 7 of them exactly, but this most likely is, right? So, I think it's going to be similar to what we've seen with Avatar 1, but kind of a mix of the results of the, what happens in Avatar. So, we're going to see the people split in the world of spirits, walking amongst all of the humans, because Korra opened up the spirit portals at the end of Korra. So spirits and humans are all living together. It's like a fantasia. So I think that the people are going to be obviously helmed up and holding themselves off and surviving inside these Seven Havens, because the world is now open with the spirits running around inside of it again, like we seen in Avatar 1's world when they lived on the back of the great lion turtle spirits. So I think it's going to be similar to that in a lot of ways. But, the new twist will be like, it's not just completely split between the 4 nations strictly. We're going to see it's going to be like a melting pot of different bender nations living inside of each of these seven havens and whatnot. Okay, and then leaving one of the seven havens is like you're going into the Badlands. It's like Mad Max out there, right? So Avatar Pavvi going on her quest. That she's a young Earthbender. Okay, she's pursued by human and spirit enemies. She's gonna be, like they say, trying to find out about her mysterious origin. Now, we don't know too much, but what could that mean? Like, I feel like obviously it's relating to her being the Avatar, right? And what that could possibly mean, because maybe, you know, this deals with her. And I hope, you know, I'm speculating at this point, but I hope that if this concept of the other twin having powers is true too, because if they're both searching for the mysterious origin, why would the other twin's origin be mysterious, right? So maybe it's not wrong to assume that the other twin has Avatar abilities as well, and if she does, that would mean that she has the spirit of Vatu inside of her, most likely, because that is the, you know, the exact, basically like the twin, the parallel to Rava, the Avatar spirit. And that's, you know, what Korra's uncle had Vatu spirit inside of him and made him similar to Avatar. We just didn't see him bending multiple elements, but that possibility is completely true. He could have most likely gotten that ability somehow, since he was, you know, fused with a spirit like Rava. Okay? So, putting that aside, it's very likely that they could be, I hope, this is speculation, I hope that they're referring to them making the Avatar connection whole again, okay? Or maybe, I hope that's what this is about. I hope that part of that comes through. Maybe I'm being hopeful. You know, some people might hear me say that and say, oh, you can't let the old shit go, whatever. I know that's a whole argument with Avatar fans. That's neither here or there between the Korra and Avatar stuff, whatever. I talked about it in a different video. I'll have it at the end of this video. But, so all we know is like this general premise, okay? And I wonder, I really wonder, because as you see here, the Red Lotus and the White Lotus are like, you know, very intertwined in this new plot. As so the rumors say, right? We don't really know anything more specific than that. So if we were to look at the events of the San Diego Comic-Con panel, by the way, you can just look at this page on Twitter yourself if you want to find this out and look at everything in more detail, because I will be skimming through stuff that's not as important. Like right here, they're, you know, going through the history of the creators, Michael D. Martino and Bryan Konizotoko, however the fuck you say that, my bad, bro. But listen, they're going through talking about how the series started and all that, and, you know, basically, you know, Avatar, then we ended up with Korra, 3 seasons of Avatar. After that, the community wanted us to come back more. You know, 5 million people watched the finale on TV with the Fire Lord Ozai ending the 100-year war with the help of Team Avatar. I was there. I watched that shit too. I was one of them numbers. I know it. Believe it, right? But listen, and now they're saying we're back. This is the 20th year anniversary of the Avatar, okay? They got the voice of Korra there, okay? The stacked panel, all the voice actors and creators, not all of them, because some people like Katara couldn't make it, okay? So then we also see some of Bryan's new art style with them recreating the Serpent's Pass events, like little cartoon panels that he's making. By the way, I like the way this new art style is looking, because he's starting to express the style through watercolors a lot. I guess that's his new style that he's trying to blend in to the studio as well. So we might see that picture of Pavvi that I showed you earlier, Avatar Pavvi. We might see a lot of watercolor influence mixed in with those vibrant colors, because this is really vibrant right here, and I like the way this looks already, you know. And obviously they're not gonna look chibi and they're not gonna look SD all the time, right? So this is just retelling the events of the Serpent's Pass. I don't know if the voice actors were actually there as well, like speaking over, you know, and voicing over the panels. But this art style is really good. That's when Suki pulled up on Sokka and, like, you know, pretended to be a soldier, pressing him for his ID, but it was really her. He didn't recognize her without the face paint. So this Suki Momo, he noticed. He noticed. But okay, yeah, there's some pretty good stuff right there. So even it says right here, this particular watercolor art style is something that Bryan is working into what he's working on for Avatar Studios. Okay, so they're going through more stuff. They got a book coming out, but this is one of the second most important things. This is the second most important thing about this video. So Avatar: The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender is coming out October 9th, 2026. We got an official release date. Finally, we've been waiting for an official release date. It's been in the air that we're getting this, that the Boomerang Gang is coming back, but we got it. Now we know. Okay, this is pretty amazing. Okay, and then more of the stuff, as we already know, it goes into the stuff I've already covered earlier. Some more, a little bit more information about Pavvi and her mentor Jay, who's, I don't know if we know their gender exactly, but I see a lot of people not liking. They're just saying that people are not liking this because it's a girl. And I feel like that's a worn out excuse. And yes, I'm aware in a lot of cases, people 100% will just do that. They'll just say, oh, fuck this. I'm not trying to, there's the girl. But then, it's accompanied with the idea that since it's a girl, there's going to be some sort of pandering and shallow writing and stuff like that. So I don't know. But either way, I feel like the plot sounds interesting enough. Two twins split. They're long lost, and one might be possibly being raised by the Red Lotus. This person right here, Jay, might be a White Lotus member, but their colors obviously signify, by the way, Air Nation. Okay, so we know from some of the rumors that her companion was an Air Nation member, and a White Lotus member is what the rumors were saying. But this is Air Nation garb, most definitely, the colors and all that. So based on the design of it as well, I would say it seems like the Air Nation, the Air Nomads, are more leaning toward a different type of culture, because this looks like battle armor. This looks like armor and gear ready to brace the outside world, which is this. And this back here, by the way, is one of the 7 havens. I forgot to even mention that earlier, that this is one of the 7 havens that we're seeing in the background of this art right here. And I don't know how people just don't exactly like this. This picture is kind of lower quality somehow, even though this one's taken off screen. But yeah, so 7 havens in the background. Pavvi has 1 leg, and I'm assuming, right, and I think I'm definitely 100% right, Pavvi uses her earth bending to make her leg. Okay, I know in the last video I called her paraplegic. That's the wrong word, definitely. But yeah, she's an amputee. She has 1 leg, and so yeah, I'm pretty sure that's her earth bending. I have no doubts that it is. And you see outside, the outside world is also strange, because there's crystals growing out of the ground. There's always an aurora borealis in the air due to the events of what Korra did, opening up the portal to the spirit world, like I was saying earlier. So there's going to be a lot of spirits running around the outside world, and all of them aren't bad, because think of Avatar 1, the first Avatar, the world that world was. We're reverting back to that, but it's in the future. Okay, so obviously there's going to be a lot of nations. I feel like Republic City is going to be one of the 7 havens. There's no way they let Republic City fall. Maybe it did. I don't know. A lot of those characters were slacking in Korra, but we're not going to talk about that in this video. That's neither here nor there. So the airbender in the background, I think that they most likely, like I said, they're battle ready. So I'm curious to see what type of fighting style they have. I don't know what type of detail they're going to go in. I know that energy bending was a concept that was going to eventually be a part of this entire thing. like this the next journeys and the next steps of the Avatar world with the characters and all that, like, you know, in the future. But I guess they kind of repealed back on that. It might still be a thing, I don't know. But I do know that with the natural course of how things go in the Avatar world, right? Because people complained about in Korra how lightning bending became commonplace. Okay, and everything in Korra is not just bad and just ridiculous. Because I think the lightning bending thing, it makes perfect sense, right? If you have generations going by and time going by, and this thing that was a long lost art is now being known, I'm sure Zuko, like, you know, and Iroh, when they were around, people saw them doing it, and, like, you know, they can learn from them, and they're passing down to their kids and all that. Or, you know, Zuko's passing down to his kids and whatnot. Art, lightning bending to be more commonplace. It's not like it's not a completely weird concept. It's the same thing for metal bending. Like, especially, you should go read the Avatar comics, because the metal bending, we've seen how Toph kind of went around the world making her metal bending school, finding students who had that gift and the ability to be able to metal bend, which comes with a certain sort of mental attitude and all that sort of stuff, spiritual, mental state, whatever, right? So she found people that were able to do that, and even sometimes better than her students were able to. And I'm sure we're going to see all sorts of different evolutions in bending as well. This character right here could possibly just be able to fly like Zahir, okay? And they might be able to even energy bend, because that could be close to the Avatar. I mean, you know, the air bending is energy bending because it's spiritual and also another intangible thing, right? I don't know. That's a speculation thing, but there's so many possibilities with this. I don't know where it's going to go, but I don't think it's going to be just all bad for any reason, especially not because the new Avatar's a girl. But I think the twin thing could get dicey. The last twin story I saw was Acolytes, Star Wars Acolytes. If you know, you know. But yeah, this monkey cat, I've seen people complaining about, oh, the last animals didn't have just such big eyes and whatnot and this and that. Yeah, okay, but it's a cat. Cats really do have big ass eyes sometimes, okay? And this is a giant cat. And, you know, other than that, unless you're complaining about the vibrant art, I don't know what else you could be complaining about. But I think I said everything I can speculate on about this, about, you know, more of the different bendings being more commonplace. So we're going to see a lot more lava benders too. Don't be mad when you see more lava benders, okay? We're going to see more lava benders, more lightning benders. We might see more people with blue flames running around, or different color flames. We might see a white flame user, okay? We might see somebody glass bending, because this looks like some sort of weird glass. We might see somebody who just bends this shit all day, who just walks around collecting this shit in a pouch so he can use it to fight. Okay, I hope they do that sort of stuff, because the Avatar, the whole world and the concept has, like, it's just amazing. It has so much potential. And, you know, like I said, I'm not going to start hating on Korra or talking about Korra, even though I have criticisms about Korra. Like, just criticizing something doesn't mean you hate it entirely. I feel like if you can be objective and look at things and, you know, honestly, unbiasedly, and say what's bad about it, then that's all right, man. Because I like Korra. I have a lot of things I like about it, but a lot of the bad things about it exist. They just do. The fact that season 1, you know what, I'm not gonna go past it. Season 1 was the best season. It was supposed to be the last one. Okay, they had to scrap everything else together. But anyway, I think that's it for me. I will make another video about this if I have anything else to say. Okay, the speculation and everything I have aside, the two avatars running around trying to escape the threats from humans and both spirits, and they have to find out the truth of their origins before the last of civilization falls. Okay, and I'm sure the civilization is going to be falling to the spirits, right? Because there are a lot of great spirits and powers pushing humans back further. There could be a man running around possessed by a spirit, you know? And I really do hope that a part of her story is her restoring the Avatar connection. Okay, I hope that she's doing that. I hope she's restoring the Avatar connection in her story. Okay, I really hope that's a thing. Because if it's not, that'd be most upsetting if she's not restoring the Avatar connection. But there's no guarantee on that. At least go back and talk to all of them. Talk to somebody past Kyoshi. Talk to one of them, okay? This is a big airbender back here. How did he fight? You know what I mean? Like, he probably fought like the one guy who sticks his palm out and it's just a big palm of air pressure attacking you. I don't know, but listen, I'm ranting at this point. Azula's great grandmother. But listen, this is it for me. What do y'all think down there about, by the way, put something in the comments. Okay? Are we gonna see Pavvi speak to Korra? Are we gonna see her speak to Korra? You know what I mean? Will she even do something like this? Will she be there to try to quell the fight between both of them, or whatever it is going on? Who knows? But like I said, this whole the other second half of this video was speculation. First half I gave you all the news. Okay, all the news. Nothing else to say, man. I'm out. Who you choose?